I recently read the book 10-Minute Toughness by author Jason Selk. It's September 30th, 2006. The St. Louis Cardinals are playing in the second last game of the Major League Baseball season. They're down 2-0 in the bottom of the 8th inning. They need a win to secure a playoff spot. Next up to bat is Cardinals pinch hitter Scott Spiezio. In a few minutes, he'll have to hit a 100-mile-an-hour fastball in front of 40,000 screaming fans to save his team. The pressure to perform is suffocating. But thankfully, Scott Spiezio has a mental routine that he can use before going up to bat to remain poised and perform with confidence, despite feeling intense pressure. Author and sports psychologist Jason Selk has helped Scott Spiezio develop this mental toughness routine to remain confident in a stadium full of fans, and he's now written a book to help you build a similar mental routine to eliminate self-doubt and build confidence before performing in front of 20 coworkers, 30 classmates, or a room full of executives. Here are 3 parts of Jason's mental toughness routine that you can use before a big performance to remain poised and confident. Part 1, the 15-second breath. Part 2, the mental movie. Part 3, the performance statement. In the moments leading up to a performance, your heart rate will elevate. Don't worry, it's natural. Even professional speakers and athletes experience an elevated heart rate prior to performing in front of an audience. It's just the body's way of ensuring that you get enough oxygen to the brain so you can perform at your best. But if your heart rate goes above 120 beats per minute, you'll be less mentally sharp and start forgetting parts of your training, like sections of a speech you're about to give. The goal is not to achieve total calmness before a performance. That's impossible. Your body's excited and it won't calm down until you start the performance. The goal is to ensure that your heart rate remains low enough to remain mentally sharp. Jason Selk has found that when his high-performance athletes and executives take a deep breath that lasts 15 seconds, they get enough air into the diaphragm to reduce their flight or fight response and lower their heart rate. In a sense, a 15-second breath is a way of telling your nervous system, don't worry, I got this under control. Jason Selk specifically recommends completing the 15-second breath with a 6-2-7 rhythm. 6 seconds in, 2-second hold, 7-second exhale. Selk says if you can't slow your breathing down to 15 seconds, it's a good sign that you need to take another breath. Part 2, the mental movie. After a few 15-second breaths, it's time to put a movie on in your mind. If you've given a speech 5 times, you'd be far more confident in your ability to deliver that speech a 6th time than if you were doing it for the first time. The mind needs enough performance repetitions in its memory to look fearless and confident in front of an audience. But getting in enough performance repetitions to trigger the feeling of confidence can take time. But luckily, there's a shortcut. In 2005, Harvard researchers concluded that people who simply visualize an experience in their mind activate 60 to 90% of the same brain regions as those who actually had the experience. In other words, the brain has a hard time telling the difference between what you're actually experiencing and what you've simply visualized in your mind. By correctly visualizing the process of a performance, you can rapidly rack up performance repetitions and trick the mind into thinking it's completed the performance before. Jason Selk says the more detail you pack into your mental video, the more realistic and beneficial it is. The best visualizations are rich sensory experiences, allowing you to see, feel, and hear what you would experience during an actual performance. So, for example, if you were about to give a presentation at work, you would see yourself walking confidently to the front of the room despite feeling intense social pressure. Then you would see yourself start the presentation by using confident hand gestures and feeling the emphasis of certain words. As the speech continues, you'd see yourself moving to different parts of the room, conveying the emotion and imagery of the different stories you're telling to get your point across. It's critical to focus on the process and not just the end result. The brain needs to see the nitty-gritty step-by-step actions that are needed for a successful performance. After you've created a 15-second breathing rhythm and watched successful repetitions of your performance in your mind's eye, you'll need a performance statement prior to going on stage. The average person experiences approximately 60,000 thoughts a day. During a performance, the volume of those thoughts will only increase. Most of those thoughts are filled with worry and self-doubt. Author Jason Selk says that the only reliable method for overcoming self-doubt and negative thinking is to supply something else for your mind to process. A performance statement is a process goal in the form of a mantra that your mind can chew on during an upcoming performance. To come up with your mental performance statement, imagine a high-performance coach taking a seat next to you. Your high-performance coach is someone you admire and respect. This could be people like Tony Robbins, Oprah Winfrey, or Martin Luther King Jr. Your high-performance coach has come to sit next to you for one reason: to provide you with a simple and concise process goal to concentrate on during the upcoming performance. When I'm about to give a presentation at work or at Toastmasters, I picture Martin Luther King Jr. sitting next to me, leaning over and whispering, "Breathe fully, pause confidently." So the next time that you need to perform in front of an audience and you've completed the necessary training to perform well, it's time to execute your mental toughness routine to boost confidence and increase your odds of a successful performance. Start with a 15-second breath to steady your heart and sharpen your mind. Then visualize the process of overcoming the fear and delivering your performance with confidence. Then imagine your high-performance coach leaning over and giving you a performance statement to focus on. A process goal that might be something like, breathe fully, pause confidently. Back in the 8th inning of that decisive baseball game, Scott Spiezio executed his mental routine and stepped up to the plate. As he repeated his performance statement, see it, short and compact swing, he hit a triple and brought home 3 runners to put the St. Louis Cardinals up 3-2. The Cardinals would go on to win that game, make the playoffs, and win the World Series that year. So make sure your next performance is a decisive victory by executing your mental toughness routine before facing an audience. That was the core message that I gathered from 10 Minute Toughness. The book is intended for athletes, but its performance principles are universal. I highly recommend it. If you would like a 1-page PDF summary of the insights that I gathered from this book, including Jason Selk's 5-part mental toughness routine, just click the link below and I'd be happy to email it to you. If you already subscribe to the free Productivity Game newsletter, this PDF is sitting in your inbox. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a productive day.